Recently, I had a friend mention that she was really struggling getting cilantro to grow in her garden. Well, for me, cilantro grows like a weed. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a few tips to make sure that you can successfully grow cilantro every year. Hey Provident Preppers, I'm Kylene, and today we are talking all about cilantro, or otherwise known as coriander. I learned how to do it the easy way because I'm a lazy gardener. If Mother Nature can do something all by herself, I'm going to let her, even if it means that my crops aren't in a nice straight row. Now, cilantro actually is a beautiful plant to plant in with your normal landscape. Just let it grow. It ends up having these beautiful white flowers on it, and then it followed by these little seeds. And as you can tell, I have a ton of cilantro that grows back every year. And my secret is that I just let it go to seed and it reseeds itself. Once upon a time, I planted a seed packet of cilantro. And then year after year, I just let Mother Nature take care of it, and it regrows as soon as it's able to in the spring. It's amazing because I won't have anything else in my garden, but that cilantro will start growing, and so I can harvest it really early, and then it produces in such abundance that I can feed my chickens and my rabbits. It's just a really great survival crop. But the secret is making sure that you don't harvest it all. Let some of it go to seed. Let's talk a little bit about cilantro and coriander. So the cilantro actually looks like this. It has these little leaves, but once it goes to seed, the seeds are called coriander seeds. And these have fantastic medicinal properties to it. I actually grind some every morning, the dried seeds. I grind them and I put them in my tea to help with my thyroid. When it comes to preserving cilantro, it can be just a little bit tricky because cilantro is great fresh. Now, one of the things that I'll do is I'll bring in this huge batch in the springtime, chop it all up, and I'll put it in the freezer in these little bags. That way, when I make like my tikka masala or some Mexican dish, I can just pull that little bag right out of the freezer and I haven't lost any flavor. It's just ready to go. If you dehydrate cilantro, it dehydrates just fine, but it doesn't have any flavor. And isn't that why we have cilantro? So that it can, well, some of you don't like the flavor of cilantro. I love it. Don't dry it, don't dehydrate it. It just doesn't have the flavor that you want it to. But freeze drying it works exceptionally well. So either put it in your freezer or you can freeze dry it, and both of those are great ways to preserve it. But as long as you let it kind of grow, then all during the growing season, you really have some cilantro. Once it gets really warm like it is now, you're gonna need to depend on what you have preserved. So medicinally, it's an antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. There are so many benefits to cilantro, so make sure that you look those up. But one of the other huge blessings is that in my garden, it's a great insectary. If you look at this, it just calls the ladybugs. If you don't have ladybugs in your garden and you don't want to go buy them, just plant some cilantro and it will attract all of these beneficial insects that will help the health of your overall garden to thrive. So the secret to growing cilantro: plant it once and then be a lazy gardener, and you won't ever have to plant it again. It'll feed you and your rabbits and your chickens and everything else that you need to feed because it is so prolific, and it will help the health of your garden. And now for the question of the day. First of all, do you like cilantro or do you hate cilantro? That's a good one. But I'd love to have your favorite recipes using cilantro. Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.